So then guys, with the announcement of new iPhone, Apple Watches and all of those great new bits of tech that have just come out from Apple, a lot of you are wondering what about the next pieces of tech from Apple, and specifically what about the MacBook Pro with the M5 chip inside of it? When is that going to be updated? Because currently we have the M4 MacBook Pro right now. Well, today I'm going to go over all the details that we know about with the next generation of the MacBook Pro. Are we going to see an OLED display anytime soon? Or are we going to have to wait out a little bit longer? And also, what kind of performance enhancements are we going to get with the M5 chip? So let's get started right away and let's talk about where we are currently with the MacBook Pro. So just last year in 2024, at the end of October, as we went into the beginning of November time, we got the latest version of the MacBook Pros. And with this, we got the M4 Pro, we got the M4, and we also got the M4 Max. Now, with these new chips, they were quite amazing because they actually gave us a lot of efficiencies. In fact, the likes of the MacBook Pro with the M4 inside us gave us even better battery life than ever before. And then obviously the cores had also changed with the M4. So the M4 chip actually gave us a total of 10 CPU cores inside of it. And then also we had the 10-core GPU. Plus also the minimum amount of RAM you got was 16 gigabytes too. So this was a great upgrade we got with it. However, not much else changed with the MacBook Pro. We did also get with the M4 version, we got the extra USB-C port, and also you could pick that new nano texture display. But overall, the actual design of the MacBook Pro didn't really change whatsoever. It's been the same design ever since we got the M1 Pro and also the M1 Max MacBook Pro, the 14 and 16-inch versions back in 2021. But moving ahead now towards the next generation of the MacBook Pro, let's first of all talk about the big elephant in the room: OLED displays and a brand new design MacBook Pro. Well, I hate to say it doesn't look like the next generation of the MacBook Pro is going to be updated with an OLED display. It looks like we're still going to get the current design of the MacBook Pro that we have right now, and this is probably going to be the last time we actually get this design. The OLED is going to be the next version of the MacBook Pros with the likes of the M6 chip inside of it. Looking at the leaks we got here, and the potential with that is that it could actually even come out the end of 2026 or even the beginning part of 2027. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But if you're waiting for an OLED MacBook Pro, you're going to have to wait out probably at least another year for this, probably a year to 15 to 18 months until we actually get our hands on that. But if you're still interested in getting that next grade performance with the MacBook Pro, well, that isn't going to be that far away. But with the actual design-wise of the MacBook Pro, don't expect any changes with it. Probably the only change we're going to get is that chip inside of it, what is going to be the M5. But we may also get some other enhancements as well. You know, for example, we may even get some more storage, what we will also talk about. But let's dig deeper then into that M5 chip and what we're expecting to get. So like I already mentioned, the current M4 came with a 10-core CPU, and this was made up of 6 efficiency cores and 4 performance cores, and then we also got a 10-core GPU. Now, more than likely for the M5, the CPU side of things is probably going to stay exactly the same. It's probably still going to be a 4 efficiency cores and also 4 performance cores to give us that 10-core CPU. Do remember the M4 was the first chip to give us more CPU cores. When we had the M1 to the M3, it originally was just 8 cores, and that was 4 efficiency cores and 4 performance cores. The M4 was the first one to do it, so it's unlikely that this is going to change. But with the GPU cores with the M4, for example, we had a 10-core GPU, and this has been the same ever since we had the M2. The M2 actually gave us 2 more GPU cores inside of it. So I would say if we're going to get any increases in cores, it's going to be in GPU cores in the next M5. So we could actually see with the M5 a 12-core GPU inside of this for the very first time. And this would be really, really exciting to see that Apple introduce a 12-core GPU inside of this MacBook Pro. Now, what I would be saying probably for performances and things like this, overall, if you actually got the newer engine, you also got the CPU and the GPU, you know, you're probably going to see more performance-wise in probably around about a sort of 30 to 40% increase overall. Like I said, this is the newer engine, CPU, GPU. If you narrow those all down, maybe the CPU might only be about 15% faster, whereas the GPU may be way more. You get the idea here. But something else to throw into the equation is something else that we saw at the Apple event for the new iPhones. When we got the new A19 and the A19 Pro specifically, we also saw that we got more cache added to the efficiency cores. And also we saw those new GPU cores and now got those kind of neural AI cores as well. And maybe Apple are going to put this inside with the M5 chip too. And this would be awesome to see, because I can imagine having that on the MacBook Pro with the M5 chip, this is really going to take advantage of that with the GPU cores especially. So this will be really awesome to see this coming along to the MacBook Pro. But like I said, the other enhancements that we may also see is that the baseline amount of storage may also finally start at 1 terabyte. Do remember that we've actually had 512 gigabytes as the baseline amount of storage in the likes of the MacBook Pro for a long time now. And obviously I would say that 512 gigabytes for a Pro is not really the best. Probably 1 terabyte should be the minimum. So maybe the M5 normal MacBook Pro is actually going to get that this time around. So this is going to be great news to hear that we probably get an enhancement there. But for RAM wise, do not expect any changes there. Apple just did this last year. It probably still will be 16 gigabytes of RAM as the minimum amount of RAM that you can get with the MacBook Pro, and then obviously the 24 gigabyte as an option, and also the 32 gigabyte as an option that you'll be able to pick with it. So don't expect any other kind of enhancement right there. But just quickly guys, I want to tell you about the channel giveaway that we are doing, and it is for an iPad Pro, and I'm giving away one lucky subscriber on this channel this iPad Pro right here at the end of September time. So literally just a couple of weeks from now. And all you have to do to enter into this giveaway is just 2 simple things. And let me tell you about the details about that right after I tell you about the specs of this iPad Pro, because it has been spec'd up. It does actually have inside of it 1 terabyte of storage. So that means, as I like to say, you get the full fat M4 chip inside of it. So 10-core CPU, a 10-core GPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM too inside of it. And not only this, it's also the 13-inch design of this model. So this is great news to actually have, that you will have a 13-inch iPad Pro. Then on top of that as well, it is also the cellular version of this iPad Pro. So that means then alongside that, you'll be able to use it out and about. So this is great news to hear. Now, like I said, to enter into this giveaway, it is quite simple to do. All you have to do is just 2 steps. The first step is just put down into the comments below of what technology gear you're hoping to get in 2025. Maybe it's one of those new iPhones, or an Apple Watch, or an iPad maybe. Or it could be absolutely nothing to do with Apple. It could be, say, a Nintendo Switch 2 or something else completely different. Just let me know in the comments below right now. Now, the second part of this giveaway is going to be happening near the end of September time, where I'll be making you a video giving you more even details about the iPad Pro giveaway, including a form to fill in too, and you'll want to watch out for that video. So the best thing that you could do right now is make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Plus, you'll also want to be a subscriber, because obviously I'm giving this away to a subscriber. The last thing I just want to quickly say to you guys, that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there, people still impersonating me, turning to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram direct message. Please do ignore these people. Best you can see right here. Please do report them. So then, moving on from this then, what about the release date and also the price for the MacBook Pro with the M5? So let's start out with the release date. Well, we've been hearing that the M5 chip is going to be introduced at the end of 2025. And one thing that is definitely on the cards here is an iPad Pro to get the M5 chip inside of it. But the likes of the MacBook Pro, well, that's been a bit of a hit and miss. It's 50-50 at the moment. We've heard from Mark Gurman, who's saying that we may get the MacBook Pros with the M5 in 2026, for example. And this might be the early part, but we've heard other leaks it might be coming in 2025. There may also be the option that we may get, say, the MacBook Pro with the M5 introduced before the end of the year, but we won't get, say, the M5 Pro or the M5 Max until 2026. It's a little bit unsure at the moment, but as we're getting closer to the release time, I'm sure things are going to get a lot clearer within the next month, because if Apple are going to release a new MacBook Pro, the earliest they will release it will be at the end of October time or beginning of November time. And this goes in sync what they've done over the last 2 years. So there is the possibility it will happen then. The other possibility of the release date, like I said, is probably going to be around about, say, February to March time, like what Mark Gurman has been saying too. So that is when we'll probably get the MacBook Pro upgraded. But then for the price wise, the current MacBook Pro costs $1,599 US, and that price retained for the M3 MacBook Pro and then also now the M4. So it's looking more than likely that the M5 will also retain that price. A big clue to prices being retained was with the new Apple devices just announced, the likes of the new iPhones, the likes of the new Apple Watches and AirPods. All of the prices stayed exactly the same as the last generation. So even though we've had inflations, even though we've also heard about tariffs come into play, Apple have managed to retain the exact same pricing. And most likely, I'm going to say that the new MacBook Pro is also going to retain that, especially that we're probably not going to get an OLED display this time around. It doesn't give Apple an excuse, as it were, to put up the price. So I think that the pricing is probably going to stay exactly the same at $1,599 US for that baseline version of the M5, the lowest storage and the lowest amount of RAM that you can get with it. So at least there is some great news there. But overall, guys, that is the latest and greatest what we have for the M5 MacBook Pro. Are you looking to get one this year, or are you going to possibly wait out to the next generation of the MacBook Pro with an OLED display? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. As always, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.